All right, let's test the video audio out, and then then we can start going through the assets again. All right, let's test. Okay, the voice is working, so I'll just paste again the link to a couple of places. And that should do it. What should we start with? I feel like let's go through the indices first, get our bearings first, and then dive into probably the Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin is doing some kind of action at this point, so that is going to be interesting to see what it reflects back to. But yeah, let's go through the indices first. This is obviously not a good count anymore, so let's try to actually get rid of this and get this a bit better of a structure. So I feel like this looks better as a 3. The only issue that I had with this Dow count is, sure, we can have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this looks very kind of impulsive as well in comparison to this as well. So we are now where we are at a area of resistance where we had these previous supports claimed. This turned into resistance. Now we are back testing that area again. Right around the golden pocket as well. We might get another push up. Smaller time frames are getting these divergences forming. Not quite sure how I want to be labeling this. We could be having this as a 3-wave structure still. I think this was here. Was this the Fed? No. That was yesterday. That was the opening. Yeah. Okay. So overall, I feel like, we need to relabel this whole thing, and instead of B being here, let's get rid of that. We would have this B wave a bit larger. If this indeed is a 5-wave already, we would be looking for a 3-wave pullback of some sort. Either it's completed right here, or that we get some kind of move up, or that this is not a 5-wave. If it is a 5-wave, however, I would also already like it to be labeled something like this. The degrees are obviously wrong, so let's fix those. This probably should be sub-minuet, and this should be sub-minuet, because this whole thing here is kind of wonky. This was the only issue that we were talking about previously, where this whole thing is so large to the upside, where this wave B basically is right at the maximum it can go to. So that is the only reason I did not really like this before. But this is the bearish count we would be following for Dow, where this B wave is still in construction and probably going to be aiming at these lows here. Let's see if we can get some extension targets here fitting into that area as well. This area is kind of interesting. Seeing just as the pivot from current price, probably not going to be the exact high here if we are to pivot even. But these are the interesting areas for me here. 1.236 would be just these lows here. So that would be very interesting to see how that reacts, if there is a reaction. If even this price starts to come down. We have some divergence, but again, divergences are not going to be telling the whole story. Overall, again, we have talked about how this B wave potentially could be also later on. So this would be the first three-way structure, this would be the second three-way structure, and then we get another one targeting these lows here later on. So a very sideways range that is again happened for quite a long time, established since December 2022. So again, yeah, that is one way of looking at this. The other way is thinking that we have this as 3, this as 3. The only issue that I have with that idea is that to me this looked way better as a 5, and this looks very much like a 3. So there is no Elliott structure that has this as a, or there's no such thing as a 5-3-3 structure. It's only a 5-3-5, or anything that starts with a 5 at this first leg has to be either an impulse or a ABC zigzag. So that's why I'm labeling this the way I am. Hopefully that clarifies some things about it. But yeah, going to be interesting today to see if these divergences are going to be filling out and playing out at all. And yeah, going to be monitoring that. ES, S&P 500, not as pretty. This, however, looks way better in my opinion as some kind of 3. Dow Jones had that as a 5-way look. ES does not. So this is kind of annoying as well between the indices, how they are quite different. Extension wise, 1.236 at the moment. We have some divergences here as well formed. This came up in more like a 3. I thought this was going to be a 5. The only issue that I had with that is this kind of weird move here. This was way too large to really be a 4 and a 5. So that's why I did not really take shorts here or against the high here, although that was the plan originally. If we created something like this, I would have been taking shorts against the high. But as we did something like this and created a new low, it did not really give out any good looking structures anymore. So I'm kind of, it's good that I stayed out. Obviously that would have been stopped out. But yeah, some kind of 3-way structure so far. If we go and pivot, or do not pivot before the 1.61, I think we can start to talk about again that maybe this is a continuation of some previous structure here. Overall, this is the bearish count. The bullish count would be that this would be some kind of 1-2-1-2 setup here. And then we have some kind of 1-2-3-4-5, where this would be a 1-2-3-4, as we have not come back to these highs. It's still possible. 4 and then 5. And then we would be looking for this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is still possible. It's still possible. The extension targets are pretty decent. Here it is, this one. Oh no, that is not the one. The bullish extension targets here, as we do hit the 1.618 here. So that is the bullish outcome and bullish look, where this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5th. It's possible. The reason I did not like that is these structures over here. Very overlapping, everything is overlapped. I can't really get a good looking impulse wave here. If you just go out in higher time frame, you hide all the structure, and then you can easily say, okay, that might be an impulse, right? What else? Yeah, it's not as bearish looking as Dow, so kind of might want to be looking for shorts on Dow instead, in my opinion, if you're into that. NASDAQ as well, having this a 3-way structure here, almost at the 1-to-1. I don't think this is a really good looking diagonal anymore, as we did go lower. Just not quite sure how I would want to be labeling this whole thing. Again, we have loads of overlapping structures in here, which does not really say that, okay, this is some kind of impulse to the downside. on this count that we had on NASDAQ, this was the similar idea that we had on ES. I showed you the bullish version where we'd have 1 2 1 2, and this would be 1 2 3 4 5 in the third of this move now. And at this point again, extension wise, this looks really, really good for a wave 4. And now we would have this as a 1 2 3 4 5, where this would become fifth here, third, fourth, and fifth, and then we'd be done. If this indeed is a 5-way move, I don't think it is really good to say that it is part of this move here. It's going to be really large though. I'll have it here. No, I don't. We're just hitting the targets. So yeah, it would probably go to around 2.236 extension, which is very much. So this would be the bearish bearish way. But as you can see how weird this whole structure would look in time, I don't think that is the likeliest outcome. This could be where we have this as a WXYZ, and this was indeed the bottom. That is the case. That is the bullish alternate. And as we have created all these structures, then we can more easily say that is the case. But for now, I'm still kind of liking the bearish outcomes first, although this NASDAQ count looks very, very good as the bullish alternate. Locally, let's see at that again. NASDAQ is probably one of those that should be the ones that you want to be longing, because again, the higher time frame structure plays into that idea. So Dow would be the ones you would be shorting if you want to be looking for the plays to the downside, and NASDAQ the ones to the upside. Of course, at this point, this has already played this kind of move. Again, this came down in such force that I did not really want to be looking for long opportunities here, nor did this here look really 5 waves either. This looked very much like a 3. So yeah, we are now at the resistance spot. If we go past the 1.618 here, which would be again the top here, then we can start to talk about maybe this is an impulse wave structure here. And especially if we get this last 4 and 5, then of course that would be very much more clear. But yeah, those are the indices for now. Let's go through. Maybe we go through the these stocks next. Some opportunities here as well, thinking that we could have this as a 3-wave structure. This came down in 3 though, so again, gotta be careful what this is. Higher time frame, however, Tesla, I do like the idea that this is still a 3-wave structure. It doesn't mean that we can't climb higher, okay? Even if this was the start of something, this could be the connector wave that would be coming back down, taking this kind of leg to the downside, where we would be then starting another leg of this size here to the upside. That is nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. This could be taking us to the all-time highs or close to it. And at that point again, the whole idea would be that we would have this as a 3-way structure, a WXY or an ABC. At this point, if we were to pivot here, around 175-ish, it would be a WXY based on the retracements. But the overall idea is still the same, that we would be getting some kind of 3-wave to the upside. Now, if we are getting close to the all-time highs on 90% retracement, which would be somewhere around $364, then this whole thing could have a 3 here, 3 to the upside, and well, what is a structure that has a 3, 3, and has retraced 90% at least? Well, it's a flat, some sort of flat. Regular flat if it doesn't take out the all-time highs, and it does this, targeting these lows here. So again, there is still bearish outcomes, even though we came down in 3. High time frame perspective is always good to have, but this is just something to consider. Meta, I don't like the structure. I liked the Tesla's structure way better. It's very similar here to the indices, so not really another. I don't really need to play meta at this point if I wanted to trade that kind of structure. Netflix. This was the only one that I wanted to short based on this structure here, but it took me out here. Again, this was very similar to the indices. It didn't have that kind of weird pump and dump, other than having this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That to me looked very decent. But again, we grinded up higher, took out the highs. I got stopped out. It is what it is. This came down in 3, which again tells more about that. Okay, this could be a bullish sign overall, but that is the case. I can't remember what this trade was about. It's probably nothing anymore. So let's get rid of those. This to me looks more likely to be a ABC to the downside as well. Apple, having similar to Tesla, where this is now reached the highs, some of the highs. We have a fair value gap here, or not a fair value, but a complete gap here. So it definitely has the chance of going way past here. So again, around the golden pocket as well. Extensions here look decent for a 3-way structure, and yeah, Apple was the only one that actually had a very decent 5-wave here. If we take out the highs, then it's probably this as the structure. It's super ugly, so that's why I'm interested in shorting this. Amazon does not really have a structure like that fits too well. To me, this looks more like a 3-wave, then maybe a 3-wave, or a continuation to the upside, where the issue, however, with this one is that we created a lower low. On the other ones, on the indices and some of the, for example, was it Netflix? Yeah, we created a higher low here. So instead, we created a new lower low here on Amazon, which does not really give out a signal that, okay, this is a 5-wave that starts something new, because again, we can't have an impulse here, at least pivoted from here. Now, if this is the case, maybe we could have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not, however, as clear as Apple's 5 waves, which is the reason I'm much rather short Apple than this one. So again, yeah, that's the reason in there. NFLX, I didn't like the structure here. Mara had a very decent looking move here, locally, where it had a potential leading diagonal here. It did get that massive pump here, following the crypto pumps, and now it potentially created already a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this, however, looked very much like a 3 in my opinion. It's grinding to the upside, as not as fast as this previous move. So there is a chance that we are going to be creating some kind of 3, 3, and then 3 here, or a 5, depending on how high that grinds up. My areas of interest would be way down below, and if this is to pivot somewhere here, I would like some kind of extensions on that last leg into that golden pocket. We have some fair value gap here that I would be interested. Maybe just tagging into it and then move on. But again, some confluence at the 0.5, at the 1-to-1, not really anything else much. This could be offering support as well, this previous area where we had this consolidation as well. So maybe the 1-to-1 actually is the best area to look for, but again, that requires us to not take out too high here, because if we are moving up any higher, then these extension targets are going to be shifting around. But yeah, we'll see if that is allowing us to anything. The reason why I really like this is because this move is so massive in comparison to anything previous to it. So if it was this kind of ABC, we would be extending almost to 3.618 here, ABC, which is again very abnormal. I would never trade on that idea. Instead, I would be thinking that, okay, whatever we have here, this extension is the start of something new. Yeah, we've had these runs on Mara as well before. We had this kind of move, which was a very, very nice move here to the upside. And yeah, that capitalized well. See what this is doing here, NASDAQ. It took out the high, some kind of rejection there. But yeah, interested in Mara for longs for sure. Microsoft, the structure coming down is not really pretty in my opinion. There was characteristics here for that diagonal. This was very similar to one of the indices where, was it just NASDAQ as well, where we had the diagonal and then we had even one more low. So I'm not quite sure what this mess is here. It's again overlapping, everything is overlapping, so it could be some kind of corrective structure before a continuation to the upside as well. NVDA took out the highs, and yeah, it has the chance of going down again. This was the original expectation, because I was expecting this to be a 3-wave here, but there is a chance that this indeed is a 5-wave, where we would have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This, however, came up in such force that I'm not quite sure if I like it. Of course, the risk is here. This was your risk if you were to short the very tip top. We had divergences forming, which again tells me more about that, okay, this is more likely to be a start of something new, where this would be some kind of 5-wave. And instead, I'm not quite sure what this is. This was again the area where I think where we started downfall on that locally on the indices. So it has some correlations. Oh, what is the word? English is sometimes hard. Correlation, I guess, maybe that's the word, with the indices as well. So yeah, but I'm not really interested in trading this. I was, if this was to keep this as a 3-wave. We never got very good signals here, and this again went way past the 0.618 before starting to create any kind of divergence here. So it still has the potential of having some kind of 3-wave here, but it's less likely in my opinion. Then let's go through Bitcoin. So this was interesting. Where's my labeling's gone? Okay, so overall, I think I like best this as an A wave. Then 3-wave pulled back into wave A or smaller degree, ABC into B, C, D, E, and this is the way you'd be drawing this ugly ass triangle. I'm getting so many alerts here now. No, this is some old one. Maybe just because I changed tabs. But yeah, a triangle here. Some kind of like a triangle here as well on RSI. It's not the best looking. For example, this wave A here is not the lowest. I think this C wave is lower. But again, that could be explained with this wick, as that is not really counted on RSI. But yeah, some kind of pivot here, and we had that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It did not reach the 1-to-1 target, which is kind of unfortunate. But we'll see what the future holds. Locally, I'm not quite sure how I like to label this either. This here is the clear 3-wave here, however you want to be labeling that. But we came down in such force now that it feels like we are going to be getting a continuation for whatever this is here. And that would be the targets here. To me, I don't really like this as some kind of impulse wave to the downside. There is sure some divergences all around, but it's not the prettiest one. Let's go to 5 minute. I feel like this was the best looking 3-wave here, but we just got a continuation to the sideways. Maybe this is another 3-wave here, although it is very suspicious. But yeah, I'm not really liking to label this at the moment, as I don't have the best idea for it, how to label it. So I'm just leaving it as is. But as this was a 3-wave to the upside, I don't think we have any reason to think that, okay, we are now going up. I think we need to correct or continue this trend still to the downside before we get that continuation. And these again are the targets here. I have not actually watched ETH at all. Let's take a look at that. Okay, ETH has way better looking structure here, coming down. It had that similar super ugly triangle here as well. But yeah, this looks better. Almost the 1-to-1. Again, we have these super ugly wicks here from yesterday. But yeah, I feel like the best way to label this is some kind of 3-wave here, another 3-wave here, and then I'm expecting this. I don't think I would be expecting this too much. I don't see a reason why it would do that, but of course it can. Nothing is for sure. How I would be trading this is if I saw a good looking 5-wave here. I did not see a good one on Bitcoin, nor do I see a good one here on ETH. So maybe if it was, I don't even know how to label this again. It's super weird because we have this kind of weird stepping stone patterns where we are getting back to previous resistance and rejecting there. Maybe something like this, and then create some kind of WXY to the downside. Maybe it's just. But yeah, if it comes back up to, let's see, maybe somewhere around 17, 15-ish, I might be looking for some kind of short. If it does this. Again, very small time frame already, so it's not really good. Probably before that we could be taking some liquidity down here. We did take some liquidity for this with this wick here, so maybe it just does this. I'll just add an alert here at these highs at 1-to-1. We can take a look at that later maybe. Solana. Yeah, we had this ugly structure, and we've been just grinding down. This area is seemingly very important for some reason. This $22 to $23 area. So many support areas here, and supports, and then and rejections from there as well. I just don't know how relevant that is. If it is, this looks more like 3-wave. On most alts, we have still not have taken these lows, where Solana has. So again, relatively to other alts, it is weak. Although we sure had these pumps here, 10% pump. But yeah, not really interested in this. Not too many requests there. Let's see. maybe ADA. This kind of looks something like a triangle here, right? If this was the pump, that would be giving this as a no, A, B, C, D, E. Pardon, like for this here, it's very short. It doesn't even get to the 0.618 here. It would be very hard for me to go long on a structure like this, because this looked impulsive. However, this looked impulsive as well, right? And since we did not even tag the 0.618 extension of this first leg here, I'm not quite sure if I like this as a triangle, although it fits perfectly there. It just fits very well. The extension targets are just not really respected at all. And this structure here looks very similar to Solana. It's very ugly. R-Weave, again one of those very weak ones that has taken out this low here. BCH, this was very bullish. The way how I would be labeling this, let's see, that is low there. The first structure is abysmal, I'm not sure. There's a chance that we have this as 1, 2 here, 3, 4 and 5. Whether it's part of this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or as an A, B, C, not really quite sure. This obviously probably is not a wave 4 anymore, it's so deep. It did not invalidate the idea that this would be a wave 4, but it's super ugly if it was. Probably would have to squeeze in 3, 4 in here, like so. And at that point again, it's super ugly as well on higher time frame. Take a look at Litecoin, nothing really there. We had a pump like on every other altcoin as well. So nothing really major. We are coming down here now. Looks like at least on MATIC. What is this? I mean, the easiest way to label this is 3, 3, 3. So, bad news for MATIC fans. This could be some impulse to the downside. That extension is so suspicious though. 2-to-1 extension of the first WXY. Oof, doesn't really look too good. But this structure coming down is decent since it has taken out all the consolidation it had before. As the price came down now. I'll set myself an alert here at 38.2, that might be interesting. RUNE. Yeah, that had that very similar, very extended pump here. That never really led into a wave 4 and 5 here. What do we have here? Maybe it's diagonal. That would be the bullish outcome, right? Oh, and I can see the bearish one as well. 3 here, consolidation, 3 here. That is so large though. Extension wise it's not too bad. Time wise it's just horrible. You can see comparing this amount of time to this amount of time. So it's not really, oh well, let's be realistic, it's this. But it's so many times more over still. Seems like not exactly 3 times. It's quite a lot. Not really too many ones that I like at the moment. Let's see if I can find something else here. I was looking at natural gas at some point. We did get this 3-way structure coming down here. Not quite sure if I like the whole thing. This looked very decent to me. 16th. No, this is wrong. UNG. This one here. Why is this still? I think this is stopped or something. 21st. Yeah, this is stopped for some reason. This was the I can't remember what stock I was looking at, or the indice for it. But this was looking very decent as 5 waves here. We had the divergences here, and now we had the potential of having this as some kind of 3-wave here. And the only issue that I had was that, again, we came up in 3. So annoying how the natural gas is acting up. I probably should have just when I saw this, I should have had gone in on these lows then, but I didn't. So I was wanting to create this 5-wave here before entering, because that would have been somewhat similar size to this first structure over here. But yeah, missed opportunity for sure. Oil. Yeah, that never came true here, this one. It still has the potential of having this as the first structure here. The only issue that was that we had a very decent 5-wave here, but it wicked through here. Invalidated that complete idea. That's pretty much almost the last leg, or last time I was really looking into crude oil. These commodities are not really something that I really like to play now. Silver, let's take a look at this. This looks very decent as an impulse to the upside though. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe this is, let's see. There might be one more high here. Silver looks really decent. The question is, what is it about? This is probably something that, yeah, this was probably that C wave end. So this would be the X wave end. 3-wave up, 3-wave down. Did not reach the 50% retracement. Also is kind of short in time. We do go past the 382. But there is a chance that we have something like this, where X wave would be later on, getting a bit deeper retracement. But I might be interested in longing this. See the daily. Daily time frame, somewhere in the golden pocket. I'll just add an alert here at the 0.5. Maybe at the 32 as well. This is very high time frame play though. See if gold has something similar. No, not really. Gold has way more of a 3-wave structure here. very much more bearish than silver. It would be super weird for them to be completely different. Completely different counts. But they surely look like it. Yeah, they look completely different. This obviously can't be a 5-wave either. Although it definitely has a resemblance for it. Didn't have the RSI divergence here though. I already looked at Bitcoin, so if you want to be scrolling a bit backwards on the live stream, better. DAX still here. Clear this up a bit. This all looks very much like 3 waves. This again now, okay, there is a chance that... The question here is, do we have this as 5? And I'm not quite sure. It's super ugly looking. This does get to the 0.618. Yeah, no worries. This does get to the 0.618 as well. Let's get rid of these. These are some old markings. I feel like this is better just labeled as such. Is this too small? It does get to the 0.5 now. We have some liquidity right above here. This might be an area of looking for shorts here. It's getting time for a close soon. Oh, sorry, I don't take the request from chats, unfortunately, because otherwise the Patreon would have nothing really going for it. So I'm only taking Patreon requests at the moment for the stocks and such. So this kind of structure. I feel like this might be interesting. Yeah, you don't need to be apologizing for it. Like this maybe. And targeting at least the lows here. The issue with this one is that everything is in 3s. So there is so many different ways of labeling this whole mess. And even this 3 could be a basically similar size to this C wave here, also called C wave, where this could be 1 degree lower. And then if we are just comparing it to the next ones, we would have this as a WXY. Yeah, that is the issue. Still interesting to me, so I'll mark it up for myself. So DAX. Ors. Maybe this is some kind of diagonal, maybe. I don't really want to go too detailed into or smaller timeframes on these, because those have been screwing me on the past as well. Okay, yeah, 1.236 extension. What did we have here on higher time frame? Oh yeah, this was the 3-wave mess as well. So nothing really going for it. 3. I feel like I might want to be looking for this to create a wave 4 and a 5th here. And if we do get 3-way structure, then I would be interested in longing this. So maybe I'll just add an alert. 32 from now should be at least coming back down to that for me to be interested in it. Looking for a September crash. That is completely possible. If you were looking at the analysis that I did for the indices, if this indeed is a three-way structure, then we have at least some kind of continuation here for this previous move. So that is completely possible, in my opinion. We didn't take a look at Russell at all. I'm not sure if we want to. This looks so horrible. Not never going to be trading Russell here. It's just, yeah. Let's just forget this one. It's so bad. Probably should not even show the labelings. Somebody might take a screenshot of it and just post it around the internet, thinking that this was my actual count. Yeah, probably shouldn't do that. ARC. Did this 3, it's in the smaller time frames. Did we ever get that 5? No, not yet. We did get that move up. And if we are now getting that 5th wave, I have an alert here, okay. So if we get this into being 5 waves down, well, it's a continuation of a previous structure, which means that most likely, let's see actually, it still can be a part of this move, however. That's a bit suspicious though, because this looks very much decent as 3. Very decent in my opinion. Extension targets are very nicely hit. That 1-to-1 there. So in my opinion, a bit better if this is 5, starting something new, and then we get a continuation. That's why we have the alert here at the lows, indicating, okay, we had that 5th wave, looking for a 3-wave pullback up into somewhere, even to the low 47s here. There's at least some in there. Or if we are maybe having this area here as an interest, 45.70 or something, and have that as a rejection area, and then coming back down. Yeah, I kind of like that. PayPal we did not check. Oof. These are just like, I don't know how to count those. It's very, very bearish, obviously. Yeah, not much to say about this at the moment though. But I think I have anything else on my list of things to cover. So yeah, I don't see anything at the moment. So yeah, I'm probably going to be cutting the stream off here. I did another 50-minute live stream, and I can squeeze in another Patreon request later on today. So if there are any patrons here, I'm going to be dropping most likely another one today. Keep those requests coming there. But yeah, thanks for watching and chatting better. Yeah, catch you on the next live stream again. Bye bye.